Hi guys and welcome. Oh, that was so lackluster.
Hi guys.
Hi guys. I'm gonna kill myself.
It did sound that way.
Oh, caravan. What the hell? Okay.
That's their new house.
Oh, house has a handbrake.
Oh,
right,
God.
okay. Hi guys and welcome back to the How I Failed in Business podcast. I'm one half of your host, Sophia Grace, joined always by...
The better half, Rob Spence.
And we are here to give a little overview this episode, but we're doing what we always do. We're here to talk about, business failings, little minor mistakes, or really major mess ups. We're covering it all and letting you know, hey, it's all okay. We have really quite a different one today, in that our guest was Lucy Kay.
Yeah. And how amazing was Lucy?
Incredible.
She was really good.
Incredible. I assume you guys have all listened to her episode, but if not, first of all, go do it
Go
now.
back. Yeah.
Lucy Kay was a finalist on Britain's Got Talent, an operatic singer, and an amazing one at that. And it was so great to be able to sit down with her and talk about some of the failings sort of that she's just overcome in her life. She herself is her business, which was so unique and different to hear, but so insightful, that she's been this sort of driving force in the amazing things that she's done.
Yeah, and it was not to be. I mean, there's been quite a few guests now who I think, do you know what, I'd love to speak to them for like another hour, 2 hours, because there was some stuff we spoke about before the show that we didn't even get onto in the show.
Yeah,
really. For those of you that don't know, and a quick Google search will show you this. She spent a few years, I think, grave digging.
Yeah,
didn't she?
A little grave digger.
Yeah, and she loved it. She absolutely loved it.
She really did.
So it goes to show that it's not always, sunshine and rainbows. There's not all this stuff that goes on. It's not always as successful as some people think. But she's happy and she's doing a great job.
Yeah.
I think. At the time of recording this, I think she's in Romania. And then I think they're getting ready to go on an 8-month cruise on a cruise ship.
8-month cruise, all right for some, isn't it?
I know.
It'd be amazing.
I mean, she did invite me on to do my one-man Les Mis show. So, look, there's still hope for me yet. But it was a great episode. And as Sophia said, if you've not listened to it, go ahead and watch it or listen to it.
It's one to not miss, that one.
Yeah, and it was really refreshing because, I think I said at the start of the show, at the start of the podcast, it was really different because technically she's not a business. Yeah. I argue that she is.
I would argue that she is.
But it's not like the standard
a successful businesswoman, for sure.
100%. We've still got her album. Oh, it's hidden away now, but we do still have her album on our piano, all signed by a blesser. And look, a great episode. And as always, as part of these overviews, we will be kind of pulling out some of our sort of three... I wouldn't say best bits, but things we want to bring up and just talk about in a bit more detail.
Things where maybe as we were having a conversation, we couldn't pull them apart, but now that it's just us, we've scoured through and we've pulled out these points, and would you guess it, we've got more to say.
Oh, as always, you can't shut us up. But I think before we go on to Lucy, it's nice to see how much momentum the show is gathering at the minute,
gosh.
Sophia.
We've broken the odds now. We are well into recording and we have no signs of stopping.
They can't stop us.
They're picking up the pace.
They can't stop. We are leading the way.
We're getting some real results, which is so great.
We're
really loving it.
It's really good. And obviously for you listening, massive thank you to you for taking the time to listen. I was at an event on just Monday night and people were talking about the show, people were talking about, episodes. They were encouraging other people to come on the show as well. And we had a guest in, Claire, who was like a massive fan.
Oh my God. Claire's episode is not out yet, but stay tuned for when it comes, because not only was it amazing, but for stroking our egos, it was really great to meet someone who has listened to this podcast inside and out.
100%. People will naturally say, I think normally out of politeness, they'll name drop something from a show just to be like, oh yeah, I have listened. But Claire knew everything. She knew all the ins and outs. She wanted to buy my Gail Platt portrait. She wanted it all.
It's not for sale.
It's not for, no, because it's going to come into the set at one stage. But yeah, lovely lady. And look, that momentum does take us on to something quite exciting.
Something that we're going to tease later on. You don't get to hear it all now, but There are exciting things on the horizon, big things.
Oh, and do you know what? It's you know, I've been the most passion I've had in my life recently has been this podcast, and
Absolutely.
this exciting news. If it all comes about, which I think it will, is like next level, and it's a big thing that I'm absolutely excited for.
We are guns blazing for this. We're really loving it.
Did we agree? So we did. So we're going to talk about it later on, obviously at the end of the show. But what are we letting people know, or are we just?
We're teasing.
Okay, you may have to lead the way on that tease because I'll just full on discuss it.
Here's the thing, I really am, and I get the sense that you really are as well, terrible with surprises because I want people to know then and there what it is.
Yeah, that is my worst. I mean, you've experienced it with your crayons.
Hey, I loved my crayons.
Oh no, absolutely. But you know, I loved providing that surprise, but I think I told you like literally 4 weeks before you got them, so it was just no longer a surprise.
Yeah. But with this, you've got to at least wait until the end of the episode to hear what we've got for you.
Okay, and you're gonna have to take the lead on that. You're gonna have to take the lead, but it's really interesting that you trust me because I've made so many fuck-ups over the past.
Oh yeah, we've had some success in the podcast, but in our real lives, Rob, how you been doing?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, they're not necessarily. It's just typical Rob Spence things, to be honest. So last week I had a meeting.
Out-Spenced himself.
Oh, smooth. That does make Spence.
See, mine's a really good one because I'm graceful.
You are Grace.
You see?
And then one day, right, you can release your autobiography, Saving Grace. There you go.
Wow.
Look at this. It's all meant to be.
It's all fantastic.
You know, make Spence and Saving Grace. It's all meant to be. But yeah, last week. So I think what everyone in this business knows is that I'm absolutely rubbish. Well, I don't know. Maybe my organisational skills aren't the best. I don't think.
Lack thereof, perhaps.
Yeah, I'm getting better. 100% getting better. So last Thursday, you know, really busy day. Goodness, is it Thursday? It's a week today.
It's Wednesday today.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay. I wish I made it. That's okay. But yeah, so I had this meeting at a lovely beer hall in Leicester, right near my house as well. And I'd planned out my whole day, literally my whole week around this because I thought, right, I can go to there, do my meeting, then shoot off to the gym. Planned everything around it, and I was running a tiny bit late. Right, once again, typical of me. And so I messaged this person I'm supposed to meet. I'm saying, hey, I'm just leaving the office now. I'll be there, you know, probably about 5 minutes late. I'm absolutely sprinting in the car, obviously at the legal speed limits, Mr. Policeman. And, you know, I'm speeding there, get to the beer hall, you know, 7 minutes late, walk into the venue. She's not there. Okay, that's no problem. I'll go buy myself a drink. So I bought myself a little ginger beer. What is the difference between a ginger beer and a ginger ale?
Oh,
is there a difference?
Yeah, of course there is. Yeah.
There must be a difference. But
ginger ale and ginger beer. I know that they go with different things.
Oh, okay. I just assume they'd be the same thing.
No.
I mean, listeners, dude, let us know.
Ginger ale is what you have like rhubarb gin with. Ginger beer is what you have like spice rum with.
Oh. Oh God, that's even more confusing. I just assume
I
ginger
only
ale
know
could be
drinks in terms of what you mix them with, in terms of spirits, which is so
a
awful.
It's okay. It doesn't tell us anything about your personality
really
whatsoever.
It's because I worked. It's because I worked in hospitality, not because I have any sort of problem.
It's okay. You're in a safe space here. But so I'm there. I've bought this ginger beer or ginger ale. Who knows what it was in the end? And I'm sat there. And it got to 10 past, still no sign of her. So I give her a little call just to make sure, you know, I hadn't messed up the times, X, Y, Z. No answer. Dropped her an email, said, look, I'm here, you know, I'm ready for you whenever you are. Sat there drinking my thing. And then I was like, actually, I think I've done something wrong. I've gone through my emails, completely wrong day. I'd got there on the complete wrong day. So I was a week early. So I'm never late. I'm always a week early, which I don't think is too bad. So I'm a week early for this thing. And I must have looked like such a mug because I've gone in alone. I've bought a ginger beer or a ginger ale. I still don't know which one it was. And I've literally just drank it and left. I was in and out within like 7 minutes. It was the most depressing thing. And then yesterday, myself and Caitlin, who works in the Paragon team, we had a lunch meeting, which I thought was 1 o'clock. So we left here at 12:30 to get there for 1:45, only to discover the meeting was at 1:30. So Caitlin had to put up with me for an additional
nice
45
minute wait.
And she didn't drink alcohol, which surprised me. I thought she'd have to
She'd be throwing
get the
them
beer
back.
and the wine. Yeah, but that then became really awkward because I was the only one drinking wine at the meeting. So I had to wine that in.
Oh.
But yeah, so it's not been a good week for Rob Spence and his organisational skills, to be
Yeah.
honest. Any PAs, obviously Lisa listens, any PAs or VAs that could probably rein me in and keep me in check, do reach out. But maybe we should listen to some of Lucy's
Perhaps we should.
sound bites.
We're
So
all here.
as we said, do go check out the episodes. It would have come out just on the Tuesday before this. Lucy was absolutely great, funny, hilarious. Some real interesting insights into Simon Cowell and royalty as well. But let's go through these little sound bites here. So here's the first one. Oh. It's quite an honest, open little soundbite from Lucy there. You know, you've got a girl who, you know, who's been in classical training and music school. I don't know if that's the correct term, for so many years, having this kind of feeling of, do I belong here? Should I be there?
Yeah, I think it's so, like you said, it's so real because I think it just shows you can be really in any industry and you can have these moments, even when you are so incredibly talented, like Lucy absolutely is, where you feel like, you know, I shouldn't be up on this stage, whatever that stage is for you, if it's, you know, at the top of a table at a board meeting or if it's literally just within the team that you're working in. I think everyone has these moments and it's so natural where you think, God, does everyone know that I'm just blagging it? And then you realise, hey, everyone else is too.
Yeah. Is that anything you've experienced yourself?
Oh, absolutely. I jumped up extremely quickly in a really wonderful way. I sort of sought a promotion in a different company and went from being entry level to managerial. And as I look back now, I think, God, why did I do that? You know, it's so appealing to take the big bump in pay and, you know, in prestige with your new title, which means nothing. But if you haven't got those skills, you've not learned anything. And, you know, time will tell. And I think perhaps I did get at myself thinking that I didn't deserve the role in maybe a way that I did. But I also think if you jump the gun, eventually it's going to bite you. But yeah, I think I definitely felt like I didn't belong in the role that I was in. But now when I look back, I'm like, if I'd have been more confident, I would have fit in so much better. Which, yeah. And I assume, you know, you're in a very different role where you struck out on your own. Did you ever have these thoughts of where am I?
To be honest, every single day, Sophia, you know, I think like we mentioned it in one of the podcasts before, like, you know, my business life has just been an absolute whirlwind. And there's been so many times where I look back and I go, how on earth did I do that? Why was I so brave to do that? And, you know, I've had it from, you know, even now sometimes with sales training I deliver, you know, full transparency, you know, obviously my sales training is incredible and I know what I'm doing, but there are moments in every single session and with every single group, I'm like, I don't know whether I'm qualified enough to teach you this. And one of the key triggers for that, and I'm being really, you know, honest here, is age and experience. Sometimes I walk into a room and, you know, I'm faced with people who've been doing sales for, 10, 20, 30, 40 years. You know, they're probably in their 50s, late 40s. And you think, I'm this spotty teenager coming to teach you how to sell. It's getting better as I get older because I share the wrinkles, I share the greying hair, I share the, the kind of extra body fat and so on. But I'm, when I was much younger, when I got promoted within my role at where I worked before, I was 25, 26, showing people how to sell with people who'd been in the company 20 years and so on. So that was horrendous, to be honest. And it's actually quite refreshing how many people I speak to who talk about this whole imposter syndrome and do I belong to be here? I mean, how did you, if you don't mind me asking, how did you overcome that?
Ooh, I think it does just come with a sense of you've got to put confidence behind the people that have hired you or that have told you that you actually do deserve to be in that position. If you're at a company that you really love or in an industry that you really love, you have to believe that the people who've seen something in you probably do know what they're talking about. If they can see something, I guarantee it's you that doesn't believe in yourself. If they believe in you and they're leading in an industry where you would like to be regarded in the same esteem as them, put some faith in yourself.
Yeah.
They've seen something, and just because you can't doesn't mean it's not there. If you think that everyone else around you deserves to be in the role that they're in, perhaps it's not you. Perhaps you deserve to be there as well. And I think that that's kind of what I had to realise, which was, just because my personal sense of self was perhaps lacking, didn't mean that my talent was.
There we go. That was lovely. That was. That'll be a blurb from your book one day. That was
Saving Grace.
Exactly. But no, some valid points, and I think you are right. It's, finding those, I guess, confidence points that you can always anchor back to, I guess, and just keep reminding yourself, as to why you deserve it and why you belong. Still not becoming complacent in that, I don't think, but understanding those bits and bobs. But look, the next soundbite kind of touches quite nicely upon that anyway. So let's get Lucy back involved here. I remember when we started the podcast, Sophia, you mentioned, and this really took me by surprise, you mentioned actually sort of how nervous you were.
Yeah. I'm a really anxious person, and I'm, like Lucy said, you get me talking, you can't shut me up.
We've noticed.
But it takes me a while. I'm very much, I think I sit more towards being introverted before I get to know people, and then I will come out of my shell. And the thing is, you don't have that time when you're making something like we're making content that people are listening to. You sort of have to jump straight in. And I really struggled with that at the start. I struggled with public speaking when I first had to do it. I think it comes back maybe to this imposter syndrome where I'm like, why am I an authority on anything? Why am I speaking on this? Do I know? And I think what it sort of dawned on me through these weeks of doing this podcast is you don't have to be an authority on something to have a great perspective on it. And sometimes I think not being an authority in an industry means that you look at it completely differently. And although my opinion, might not be getting published, it's one worth listening to. And I think I had to sort of see that in myself where, everyone who's listened has received it. So,
delivery. Hi, mate, you okay? Yeah, that's me. Oh, TikTok shop. Gotta love TikTok shop. Thank you very much. Cheers, mate. Thank you. It's always a delivery. Oh, but that is fucking battered,
Oh my
isn't it?
God.
Jesus, look at that. I was hoping these will be the mic covers. It's wet inside. It's wet inside. More aftershave because I never have enough aftershave. Mont Blanc Explorer. Anyway, that is like wet.
Has it leaked?
I don't think so because that's all sealed. Anyway. Right. Okay. Anyway, sorry. I can't remember where we got getting up.
No.
To be honest.
But yeah, so I struggled even with talking on the podcast, which is so absolutely ridiculous because you're not talking in front of any kind of group. I'm talking to you, which, you know, love it or hate it, I do all day.
I don't know how to take that.
And it's so weird, just this added pressure of a microphone. All of a sudden I clam up and my like palms are getting all twitchy and I can't quite sit still. And it is just something that I had to cope with over time. You know, time heals all wounds, it does everything. And I think I just really needed to sit in it and let myself be uncomfortable. I think if I'd have tried to go in it guns blazing and really confident, it wouldn't have played authentic. And that's what we really tried to do. And I think I had to maybe be a bit nervous in those first few episodes and baptize myself with sort of fire to come out of it the other end and be like, look, you know, it didn't kill me, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that was really, really important. And I think I can understand, obviously it's nowhere near the same scale, but being scared up on a stage, I get it. Which leads into maybe what we're going to be talking about later. But
nice little tease there. Exactly.
But yeah.
And yeah, look, that happens a lot, you know, and I think like from my side, I think what really surprised me is because, you know, you joined the business and you literally threw yourself into it. You know, I remember you recorded, you know, a video for our TikTok, you know, very early doors, you know, when we played around with a little pilot down here with 3 team members and you were like one of the first to put your hands up for that. And, you know, when I said, look, do you fancy doing this with me? You were like, yeah. No, and I've like when you first said like you'd had like this kind of nerves and anxiety, I was like, no way. Like I didn't believe it, you know. And like I say, this is completely different. I mean, Lucy Kay had what did she have? Sort of 11 million viewers, I think she said, on that first audition. You know, obviously we've got 11 people listening to this, so it's
slightly over, thankfully.
Different, but it can be a bit, you know, like nerve-wracking a little bit, I think, at times.
Absolutely, yeah. I think you've just got to decide that you're not going to let your lack of confidence come in the way of your opportunities.
Yeah.
And it's really tricky, it's really tough, but I think you have to.
I think so. Like, I think that's a really valid point, because I think like everything that brings us some form of nerves or any kind of, I'll use the word fear, it's on the other side of that where like opportunity lies. You know, I think like if any of us look back in life and think, you know, I've had this opportunity, but I said no because I wasn't feeling up to it. I was nervous. I was scared. Think of everything that you're going to miss out on. There's so much. There's so much. And yeah, there's even like now, you know, for me, I still get nervous for some, you know, sales training gigs, you know, especially some of the big talks. Weirdly even, but I think this is like an ancient thing. You know, sometimes when I'm at a networking event and they're going around the room and you know that your turn's coming up, I still get a bit like flustered. And I always put it back to, you remember when you were at school and you've got your page to read from a book?
Yes,
and you know, you're like, oh my God, my turn's coming. Then you start to overthink it and then you start to ruminate on it. And then because of that, you start panicking as to what you're going to say.
Yeah.
And it was even worse when I was a naked butler. You imagine... Right.
And you really don't want to be nervous when you're doing something like that.
I mean, it can't get any worse, to be honest, Sophia. But yeah, they were especially like the first couple of gigs, you know, the very first gig was obviously the worst because you're really entering into the unknown. Yeah. But you kind of soon get used to it. I think like Lucy says, you know, I think she says like now it's kind of like second nature to her a little bit, you know, so maybe I think you're right that
it's like us now, you can't shut us up.
Oh God, yeah, I know. Rhea and Molly are in the room and they're just like, oh my God, I can't wait for them to just bugger off. But I think that kind of time and even practice, just doing it time and time again, really, really helps the situation completely. Well, look, let's listen to Lucy for one final time in this episode. Let me just find the little soundbite. Here we go. guess there's kind of two ways to look at it. For me, there's kind of two ways. But I know I personally have been guilty of just saying yeah to everything and just going ahead with it no matter what. I mean, have you ever been in that, maybe asking you to join the podcast, maybe?
No, I love doing that. But yeah, I think it almost comes with the territory of business that, you know, you give people an inch and they'll take a mile. And I think it's so difficult if you sort of see your end goal and you see people that you think might be able to get you there, that you then naturally will let them maybe take advantage of you in those positions. I think a lot of people in business will have seen that at some point.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know from my own past experience, I think we spoke about it on the show. We might not have done, when I allowed a business partner into the business who completely just, you know, ripped me off, and I don't think could have destroyed us, but, you know, that was very much a I'll go with it without really thinking about it. But even like on small things, sometimes I've taken on clients who I don't want to work with, but I say yes because I look at the monetary, the value or whatever it is, and that rumination plays on your mind. You don't look forward to the calls. Every time you see the messages, you think, oh my God, like I don't want to be dealing with this. You know, we've all kind of gone through those things of saying no, and it just really hurting us a little bit. Yeah. You know, I think on the flip side, and, you know, like I say, Lucy is completely right. I think sometimes we can harm ourselves more by saying no a lot in life. Have you seen Yes Man?
I have seen Yes Man.
Wonderful film.
Great
You know, I love a film analogy for business.
You do indeed.
Yeah, and I love that movie, love that film. And obviously for those of you that haven't seen it, you know, I think it's based on a book, isn't it?
Yes.
You know, basically he's a lonely guy who has no opportunity, doesn't like doing anything, has to say yes to literally every opportunity thrown his way, and actually kind of opens up his life a little bit more.
It opens up massive doors for him.
And I think like what we said just, you know, in the previous soundbite about, you know, sometimes we feel scared to do something, so we naturally say no. It closes our doors a little bit. So I do think like, you know, I think just as long as they're the right opportunities for you, that's the main thing. And I don't think as well, like being scared to pull away if the opportunity suddenly doesn't.
Yeah, if something's not serving you in any way, to being able to say, actually, it was right for then, it's maybe not right for now.
Yeah, exactly.
To part ways with it, yeah.
Being willing to communicate. So just with that all in mind, obviously, you know, I've got a potential really exciting opportunity for you in November. And if memory serves me right, I don't think I even asked you. I think I just...
No, I got CC'd into an email.
You did. So, I mean, you're going to have to take the lead on this, because if I take the lead, I'm just going to say it.
We're not
What do you think we should do? Do you think we should keep it quiet or what?
Let's let them know a little bit more.
Okay.
Okay.
You're going to have to let them know a bit more, Sophia.
In November, we have an opportunity. We've been granted an opportunity, shall we say?
Yes, I'll take that.
To take a next step in our podcast in bringing it to you live.
Dun, dun, dun. Dun, dun, dun. This is where the buttons on the pod, on the little thing would have been amazing.
This is something that we've talked about for the podcast before we'd even sat down and recorded the first one.
Yeah, absolutely.
We are absolutely so excited to be doing this. Date and everything is still TBC.
Yeah, it's still early days.
Still early days.
And, you know, there's a lot of things to work out, iron out, write out. And obviously, when things do get announced, you'll get bonus episodes. We won't
shut up about it.
Oh, 100%. But look, this is so exciting.
So exciting.
Because, you know, look, I love doing this. I love recording our podcast like this. And we're starting to develop a fan base and an audience base. And if we get that opportunity to bring it live, it just takes us to the next level and takes the show to the next level. Doesn't it? How do you reckon you'll be nervous for that?
Oh my gosh, I think I'm going to be so nervous. So incredibly nervous, but incredibly excited. I really, really can't wait. I think I've never been so excited to put myself out of my comfort zone.
Yeah. Oh, and look, I think we're both. Look, I'm going to be nervous, you know, and I think a lot of it for me will make sure it's a success and so on. but we've got plenty of time to plan, prepare, write.
Yep.
So know me, I'll do it like the night before or something.
Absolutely. Or I'll do it.
yeah, please do. That would probably be better. But look, you know, obviously we will announce more details closer to the time and once those details are confirmed. But look, if you are interested in being one of the first, maybe we should open up like a VIP booking system.
Yes.
If you do want to be one of the first to get involved, just drop us an email. All you've got to do is email us at howifailedinbusiness@gmail.com, or just send us a message on any of our socials. The event is probably more than likely going to be free, I think.
That's what we're pulling for.
We're hoping for. At the very least, there may be a small donation requested for charity. I've not told you about that because I think sorry, I forgot to tell you. So, but yeah, so there might be a small donation for charity, but it's going to be free. So if you want to be one of the first to come along, we're looking at putting on a really good night. It's not just going to be Sophia and I talking. We're looking to get some special guests. We're going to look to have a big format going on, a bit of a party
nice little open mic
well.
bit. We'd love to hear some of your little on-the-spot failings. Delve into them.
Not open mic like bad guitar playing or singing.
No. There were no guitars allowed, no acoustic sets. Sorry.
Yeah, 100%. But yeah, let us know if you want to come along and watch that. Should be pretty exciting. But shall we wrap up there? Who wants to take the outro?
Let's wrap up. Well, I introed in, so you can take the outro.
I'll take the outro. Thank you so much. Well, look, listen, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to the How I Failed in Business podcast. It really does fill us with joy. Believe it or not, Sophia and I actually hate each other. So for us to take the time to spend time in a room for you, for you to listen really means a lot. Of course, if you do want to show your support, make sure you are hitting that follow button. Make sure you follow us on all of the socials. We're on X, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Goodness, I think that's all of them, isn't it? I think.
I hope so.
And as always, our episodes come out every Tuesday and Friday. Make sure you stay tuned. Thank you so much for listening. And until next time, all the best.
Bye.